Of course, here locally, a lot of reactions have been pouring in following the presidential address yesterday, and we shall be looking into some of the reactions, of course, emanating from that. And of course, we're going to kick off the bulletin with our colleague Yusuf Farah, who is in Italy at the moment. And we all know the president yesterday lifted the cessation of movement in Italy, Old Town, Kwale, and Kilifi. So Yusuf is going to be bringing us some of the reactions at the moment in Italy. Yusuf, kindly, if you can hear us, you can tell me, you can give us an update of how things are on the ground at the moment. Well, among other things, of course, that the president mentioned yesterday during his presidential speech is that the curfew hours have been moved. Initially, as you all remember, the curfew hours started at 7 p.m. rather, up until 5 a.m. in the morning. But then again, the new hours, of course, now they start from 9 p.m. up until 4 a.m. in the morning. But then again, the cessation of movement into the Nairobi metropolitan area as well as Mombasa, that continues for another 30 days, as well as the ban on social gatherings, political gatherings, and also the ban on bars. Now we shall be getting back to Yusuf and our other colleagues all around the country. But for now, let's get on with another story whereby majority of Kenyans who anticipated easing of COVID-19 containment measures by the President Uhuru Kenyatta have openly expressed their disappointment with the decision to prolong the status quo. Those who were counting on this course of action were eager to engage in activities reminiscent of the days before the pandemic. With this anticipation, it has emerged that a good number of Kenyans had organized social gatherings and, well, went ahead with them in total disregard of government directives, a move that proved costly as many were arrested and thrown behind bars.
It has emerged that majority of Kenyans flouted self-distancing directives on Saturday as they anticipated lifting of curfew and movement restrictions instituted by government to curb the spread of COVID-19. In Utawala, a ward representative was arrested last night for flouting these guidelines. The MCA, who spent the night at Kayole police station, was among a group of 11 others who were found at an entertainment joint drinking past curfew hours. In the meantime, a section of transport stakeholders in the coastal region have castigated Transport Cabinet Secretary James Masharia's handling of affairs in the sector. The group claims that under CS Masharia's leadership, the sector appears directionless, citing challenges faced by truck drivers in the ongoing fight against coronavirus pandemic.
Tuna demand na tunataka Bwana Macharia ajiuzulu haraka iwezekanavyo. Na kama hatajiuzulu, Rais achukue hatua iwezekanavyo kumwondoa kazi Bwana Macharia kwa kutosema ukweli, kwa kusingizia madereva kwamba wako na COVID, kuzingizia visingizio vingi kuhamisha uchumi wa Mombasa kupeleka sehemu nyingine.
We believe that everything would be okay, and the members of parliament will definitely vote against Mr. Macharia, so that is impeached because he is not performing that ministry. His ministry has really led to a lot of suffocation to the residents of Mombasa. So
elsewhere, over 15 girls from Amakura North Ward, Teso South in Busia County had a reason to smile after a well-wisher donated the much-needed sanitary towels and face masks. The region has experienced a number of schoolgirls being lured to early marriages and pregnancies during the current period of COVID-19 pandemic.
Wahisani ambao wanaweza kunisaidia, kama wanaweza ungana na mimi pamoja, tuweze kusaidia mtoto msichana asijiingize kwa hizi hatari mingi.
And journalists based in Kitui County received donations of protective gears and foodstuffs from Media Council of Kenya to help cushion them during the period of COVID-19 pandemic. Journalists attached to various media houses lauded the MCK for the gesture. Leo Mutisia from MCK said that just like other essential service providers, the media practitioners also need to be counted as aid is extended to frontline workers in the war against COVID-19.
Na tumekutana, tulileta msaada kidogo, vyakula kidogo hapa, mafuta ya kusaidia angalau wanahabari, sababu tunajua wanahabari wana changamoto nyingi sana.
Beatrice Getonyingetich, Channel 1 News.
Now, the cessation of movement in and out of Mombasa's Old Town that was enacted to contain the spread of COVID-19 lapsed Sunday morning following President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive yesterday. Channel 1's Anburu toured the area and sampled some of the reactions of the locals on the latest development.
This was the situation a month ago. Police manning roadblocks erected during the cessation of movement directive that restricted movement in and out of Old Town. Sunday morning, and it was a relief for the residents after President Uhuru Kenyatta announced the lifting of the ban on movement.
Ni furaha kubwa sana kwa vile tumeona mitaa yetu yamefunguliwa tena. Mimi ni mmoja wapo ambao nimekuwa locked out from my family, na leo naweza kwenda meet my family because of the announcement of yesterday.
Watu wa Old Town tunamshukuru sana, maana kwa watu wapata tabu sana.
This even as some youth from the region lauded the curfew, saying it had helped contain insecurity as well as provide employment through the Kazi Mtaani program.
Kwanza lockdown ilianza kuja hapa Mombasa, kulikuwa na wizi nini, pia wizi sasa umepungua, uhalifu pia, ni watu wengi walikuwa wanakuja kufanya mambo maovu, wakija wakifanya katika hii mitaa yetu pia. Sasa hiyo muonekana ukweli ulikuwa uko wapi, ni watu gani walikuwa wanakuja kutuharibia hii mitaa yetu ya Old Town. Old Town kwa kusema kweli tuko sawa kwa sasa.
Tunashukuru sana kwa sisi vijana kazi tulioajiriwa kwa kusafisha Old Town. Tumeshukuru sana, tunafanya kazi kwa bidii na tunashukuru sana tumelipwa.
As for the varying of the curfew hours from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., the business community say it will revive their fortunes that had been hit hard by the adverse effects of the coronavirus pandemic.
Kwa sasa hiyo curfew kuwa extended pia at least ili tumepata hata kama ni masaa 3 forward ama masaa 4 tutaweza ku make profit. Asante sana Bwana Uhuru.
Jana after president announce turudi job tulifurahia sana. Na ndio manake tuko hapa, at least Mungu atatusaidia, tutaendelesha maisha yetu vizuri.
For Channel 1 Lunchtime News Weekend from Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
Well, now to some politics, whereby the ongoing purge in the Jubilee party continues to shape public discourse as mixed responses characterize its debate. In light of recent expulsion of some ruling party lawmakers from powerful parliamentary committees, a section of political leaders has drawn their weight behind the latest drill. Calls to extend these disciplinary measures to all government departments and agencies coming as ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi was challenged to shun opposing President Uhuru Kenyatta.
The ruling Jubilee Party's decision to crack the whip on suspected rebellious lawmakers within its ranks of various parliamentary committees is receiving the support of backers of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Speaking in Samburu County, sworn allies of the head of state and his agenda maintain the purge is justified and that the removal of rebellious MP from prestigious committees must continue.
Baba moja tu kama baada anaishi ambaye tulielect nani mwingine ama kuna mwingine hapi. Haya, nyinyi mtafute mwingine. Mimi nimesema mimi naangalia huyo. Siasa 2022 tutaangoje ikuje. Because itakuja tu. Lakini vile naona mambo si mzuri.
Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, ninashukuru sana. Na ninashukuru zaidi kwa kuamua hata yeye kufanya reshuffle hata ya MPs. Hiyo ni muhimu sana na tunampatia hongera aendelee kufanya mpaka chini. Kwa sababu kama mtu huwezi jua ule ni president, unakaa kuhangaika ni kama wewe umekuwa president. Hala, si anyoroshe. Wananchi ndio wamechagua president, sio mtu mwingine. Wananchi wamechagua president na wananchi wanaheshimu president. Inakuwaje wale wako na fiti ndio waheshimu president?
Terming the president's move as important disciplinary measure, Samburu leaders urged all Jubilee leaders to cooperate with the president.
Kwa hivyo tunataka watu Samburu, sisi ni watu wachache. Hatuna president anatafuta. Na sisi ni riski kwetu kuwa nje ya serikali.
Tukijaribu na kufanya kazi tunapata sifa sisi tukiwa wote. Tukijaribu kazi, gavana anabebeshwa msalaba akiwa peke yake, na saa nyingine tuko na challenges hata pia nyinyi mnajua.
Similar calls for cooperation with the president were made in Kakamega during the burial of Arthur Angati, father of Lugari MP Ayub Savula.
Sukuma Mheshimiwa Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, mimi kama deputy party leader wake, lazima afanye kazi na Uhuru Kenyatta. 2022 ikifika, Uhuru ampatie support yake ili awe president. Heshimu mkubwa, uishi siku ngapi? Si Wycliffe na kuheshimu. Musalia acooperate na president Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru amalize miaka yake 2 na miezi 1, halafu sisi tujipange. Hii kitu tulete Western.
Sisi Waluya, hii nyumba ya Mlembe, mimi nasema tuungane pamoja ndio tukue attractive kwa wengine. Msichana kwanza unang'ara ndio wengine wanakutamani. Ama namna gani?
A section of MPs from Western Kenya calling on ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi and region's electorate to cooperate with the government of the day. Kevin Washira, Lunchtime News.
Interesting times indeed. Now, the move by President Uhuru Kenyatta to extend the nationwide curfew and stay of cessation of movement orders in Nairobi metropolitan area as well as Mombasa continues to draw varied reactions. Traders in NAROK County have welcomed the extension of curfew hours, saying it will help boost their daily income.
Kenyans continue to share mixed reactions following yesterday's announcement by President Uhuru Kenyatta, which saw the extension of a revised countrywide curfew and easing of restrictions in areas previously termed as coronavirus hotspots, which had managed to reduce the trends in infection, such as Eastleigh in Nairobi and Old Town in Mombasa.
The commencement time for the same shall be varied from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., with the end time for the same being varied from 5 a.m. to 4 a.m.
In NAROK County, traders have welcomed the extension of curfew hours, saying it will help boost their income.
Hii msimu wa curfew umekuwa mgumu sana kwa watu wale ambao wanafanyanga kazi kama masaa ya jioni, sababu mara nyingi unakuta wateja wako mbioni. Kama mimi nausanga, tuseme nausanga chai masaa ya jioni, unakuta mara nyingi ikifika 6 na mimi nilikuwa nazoea kuuza mpaka saa 2, ikifika 6 hakuna mtu hata. Watu wanaanza kukimbia ikifika 6, saa hiyo unakuta uwezi fanya mengi.
Serikali yetu by the imetupigania, tumefurahi by the, tumesema ni asanti vile umefanya mambo yanayo curfew. At least your curfew imesaidia watu wengine.
This even as others raised concern over harassment by police officers implementing the COVID-19 precautionary measures.
Wenye amesema tufanye kazi mpaka saa 3, hata na maaskari wetu hayo panjul kwa sababu wala mistreating za watu saa zingine, hata ku understand venye umefanya, umechelewa mahali fulani, labda umepata shida, hata ku understand kitu kama hiyo.
Nominated Member of Parliament David Ole Sankok has hailed the move by the government not to reopen schools, saying it will prevent the risk of spreading the deadly virus.
If we are not able to control and manage adults, how are we sure that we can be able to manage kids? We have seen people who are still drinking alcohol, who are still not beating the curfew hours. We have seen people you have to remind every now and then to put on the mask. So, it has been very difficult to manage the adults. What about the kids?
He has also underscored the need for considering the interests of persons with disabilities in the protocols for reopening of schools.
Children with disabilities, some of them are on wheelchair. They need somebody to push that particular wheelchair. What is the social distance between the pusher of the wheelchair and the child that is in the wheelchair? We have developmental disorders, like mental disorders. Those kids also need to be protected. We have cerebral palsy, kids who require 24-hour care. So we also have to think of what is the social distance wa wale ambao lazima hao watoto walemavu wanaoshwa.
At Komathole roadblock in Kiambu County, residents opined that the move will help cushion the deteriorating economy, but some remain concerned on when the cessation of movement order in Nairobi Metropolitan Service will be lifted to help ease movement of goods in and out of the country's capital.
Kuna nini wamefunga biashara, watu wengi wamefunga biashara. Kwa hivyo watu walitarajia kwamba atafungua. Tulitarajia pia angefungua mpaka saa 4 ama saa 5 ili watu wafanye biashara kidogo.
Watu walikuwa na matarajio positive, wengine walikuwa wanangojea kufunguliwe, mabiashara zirudi, Nairobi tuanze kuenda. Lakini kulingana na advice yake, yeye ako na mpangilio yake, na mimi naona, kwangu mimi personally nimeona iko sawa.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Safin Achieng Oma.
Well, now we're going to be taking you back to an earlier story in regards to the presidential address yesterday, whereby the cessation of movement in Eastleigh town, and of course Old Town, Kilifi and Kwale were lifted. And now we're going to be joining Yusuf Farah, who is at Eastleigh, to give us the latest. Kindly, Yusuf, bring us up to date with what's happening on the ground at the moment.
All right, good afternoon, Munga, and we are coming live to you from the... And now, following the directive of the President yesterday to end the restriction of movement in and out of Eastleigh, normalcy is slowly creeping into the area. We're seeing businesses are being opened. If you can look behind me, the matatus are also back to operations. I was able to speak to a few of people, namely residents and some of the people who are doing business in this area. And from what they're saying, normalcy is slowly creeping in the business sector. When the area was closed, business was not normal to purchase, and so almost slightly lower. But now that the area has been opened, rather, businesses are slowly starting to pick up. We will be informing our viewers more of this in the subsequent bulletins, but now it is back to you in studio.
No, apologies for that. We're going to be getting back to that in a few, but at the moment we're going to be taking a fast break at lunchtime news. But don't go too far, as we'll be back with more. And always remember, your feedback on the news is always appreciated. Reach out to us via social media platforms on Facebook and on Twitter at KBC Channel 1. See you shortly.
Just you and I.
It's the Sundowner.
Mother, how are you today? La 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 la.
Join the caravan of love, the Sunset Love, Sundowner on KBC English Service. Sundowner, celebrating love and life.
Je, ungependa kujua jinsi ninavyojizuia kuambukizwa au kuambukizana virusi vya korona? Ni rahisi. Mwanzo, ninaziendesha shughuli zangu zote za kikazi na hata za kibiashara kutoka papa hapa nyumbani kwangu. Baadaye, ninaitunza mwili wangu vyema kwa kuiweka katika hali iliyo sawa kupitia mazoezi ya mara kwa mara na pia lishe bora. Mwishowe, ninaungana na jamii yangu pamoja na marafiki zangu kupitia njia ya simu au mtandao ili kuzuia dhiki na upweke wakati huu mgumu. Kumbuka, haijalishi kama uko na virusi vya korona au la, salia nyumbani, uokoe maisha.
Next on,
Kuzia is Russia's up-and-coming theatre star. Kids love him. Females adore him. He is set to travel the world and win over audiences from Mexico to Japan. Kuzia is a good kitty. He's the cat's meow. In a story reminiscent of a long-running Australian children's program series Skippy, Lulu began barking until Richards's wife came to investigate. She found her husband lying unconscious under a tree about 200 metres from the house, guarded by the kangaroo. They rescued her from her mother's pouch after her mother was killed by a car.
the National Cohesion and Integration Commission is accusing a section of the political class of instigating recent intertribal altercations in NAROK South. NCIC Commissioner Sam Corner says leaders must desist from fanning violence and instead focus on uniting communities living within the region. The caution coming as the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops implored on the political class to avoid acts that could ignite tribal animosity in the region.
The National Cohesion and Integration Commission concluded its 3-day fact-finding mission in NAROK South following clashes witnessed in recent days. On normal days, the warring communities would not be seated together, but following the constant peace initiatives, this has been made possible. One familiar face in the gathering being that of 13-year-old Dennis Langat, who a few weeks ago was called out by Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea, but has since reformed into a peace ambassador, with the government promising to educate him.
Kuwa namba moja katika vita, alikuwa anapita katikati ya miguu yetu. Amesema anarudi shule, na unaona hata leo ameng'ara, anakaa kama senator wa NAROK.
NCIC Commissioner Sam Corner warning politicians against inciting the area residents at the expense of peace.
Na nyinyi raia muwe mstari wa mbele kukataa na kushawishi kiongozi ambaye mbinu yake ya kisiasa ni kugawa raia kwa njia ya ukoo, kwa njia ya ukabila. Hata hii maneno ya kusema wengine ya kutoka juu na wengine kutoka chini, sisi wote tuko chini mbele ya Mungu kwa ardhi. Na kiongozi ambaye anawaambia kwamba shida yako ni kwa sababu ya kabila nyingine, ujue huyo kiongozi anakudanganya.
The clashes in NAROK County.
Calls that were replicated Sunday at the Holy Family Basilica during the Holy Mass with the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, calling on the political class to tone down political rhetoric.
We restate our call on political leaders to shun divisive politics and instead demonstrate servant leadership. We also commend the government for calling for dialogue between the warring communities to settle their differences amicably in a bid to end the conflict.
NAROK South Deputy County Commissioner Felix Kisalu disclosing that 1,000 bows and 2,400 arrows had been voluntarily surrendered.
Karibu watu 9 tumepoteza. Kwa hivyo sisi tukaamua kama mishale ndio inafanya tupate nguvu ya kupigana, sisi tutarokota mishale yote. Tubakishe rungu peke yake na jembe ya kwenda shambani. Na hiyo kazi tutafanya. Wewe ukitaka kwenda kununua misumari, wewe nunua, sisi tunarokota.
Wala ambaye mko na mshale, wala ambaye mko na bunduki, kama ni kurudisha serikali, jameni zote turudishe haya vitu na tuanze uhusiano mwema.
Kuna shida ya uongozi ambayo wanakuja wanaongelesha watu wafanye vita ndio sasa mashamba ipatikane.
Ololoipangi, Nadupoi and Olokurto areas were the worst affected in the skirmishes that left at least 9 dead and displaced dozens. Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops is calling for constructive engagements among families in the wake of the increased conflict resulting from the adverse effects of the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking at the Holy Family Basilica during the Holy Mass, Bishop Norman Kingo Wambua said the family remains a critical fabric of the society and as such should be protected.
With the ban on social gatherings still in place, Kenyans will yet again follow Sunday services through social media platforms, radios and television.
Ajabu. Hapo ulipompeleka neno.
At the Holy Family Basilica, Bishop Norman Kingo Wambua of the Machakos Diocese will take the chance to advocate for unity of purpose.
Promotion of unity, cooperation, constructive communication, empathy, forgiveness, mutual understanding, appreciation and sheer enjoyment of one another's company are key to maintenance of a healthy and happy relationships.
In a message from the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, families will be urged to embrace constructive communication to avert disputes that have been on the rise during the COVID-19 confinement period.
Moment to rethink and reflect on the meaning and the values of a family and fruits of marriage, and to remember that daily love and forgiveness are the pillars of every family.
The bishops taking issues with alleged police brutality that has seen the country's security agents put on the spot over excess force committed while implementing containment measures issued by the government.
During curfew enforcement, let the law enforcers handle all situations in a humane way. Nevertheless, we encourage all Kenyans to be law-abiding citizens and to be each other's brothers and sisters' keeper, and avoid conflicting circumstances with the security agents.
At the All Saints Cathedral, messages of peace and hope characterize Sunday's service.
Our lives should reflect the Trinity. Can you think of anything more wonderful than living a life with Jesus Christ in our lives, living with the love of Christ, the Spirit of Christ in us, living as co-creators with God?
Reverend Cyrus Manje, who was presiding over the service, calling on Kenyans to support vulnerable communities. For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robbie.
Now moving on to other matters. After grappling to offer services from an old, mud-walled and collapsing office, administrative officers at Ngoliba Ward in Thika, Kiambu County can now afford a smile after they were handed new offices. The new 3-roomed offices were built by the National Government Constituency Development Fund in Thika at a cost of 1.5 million shillings.
After years of serving the people of Ngoliba Ward in Thika, in this rundown mud-walled office with a leaking roof, the area chief Alice Njoki had a reason to look forward to offering services to her people. This time, she will be doing it in this space that has all the comforts of a modern facility.
Kuja kwa ofisi kwa mkutano moja, akapata ofisi yetu ni zile za zamani. Iko kwa nafasi ya serikali lakini imekaa sana. Ilitengenezwa na matofali ya mchanga na nje ikapigwa plasta. Kwa hivyo kwa hiyo miaka ikawa very weak na ikakuwa very weak hata kwa roofing.
The new office that has now been connected with electricity will host the assistant county commissioner, chief and the secretaries.
And on behalf of community, kwa sababu wamefurahia sana wakati huu wa COVID-19, kwa kuwa social distancing inatakikana, wanapata nafasi mzuri ya kukaa, hata nafasi ya kuoshea mkono, kukaa chini ili tujadiliane mambo yale yameoleta kwa ofisi. Nafasi ya ofisi ni kubwa.
Thika MP Patrick Wainaina, who handed over the project, regretted that most national administrators have been offering services in deplorable offices.
Miaka 15 imepita, unakuta ile kazi imefanyika Thika ni duni sana kabisa. Kwa hivyo hata mimi nikifanya ile kazi nafanya ni kama nianzia kutoka mwanzo kabisa.
The MP also announced the construction of new police posts in areas mapped as insecurity hotspots. He, however, decried inadequacy of funds to handle a myriad of challenges the constituency was facing. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 News.
Now, staying at home is among measures billed as key in flattening the COVID-19 curve, with governments all around the world advising their citizens to consider not venturing out unless when necessary. But how best can you utilize your time while at home? Well, Purity Museo answers that question.
One, introduce new activities. Maybe you are not playing games with your children. Maybe you are not even with your partner, or some of the partners were locked apart. Somebody's outside Nairobi, outside Mombasa, they are locked apart. Part of how we can make good use of this time is introduce new activities. Be creative. Can be online. Can be introduced. You can play games. There are games you can play with people when they are apart. You can have conversations. You can have, I have seen that the companies who supply internet have offers now. They're giving cheaper bundles, they're giving cheaper packages, you know, to enable people to do online things more. The one step is try to introduce new activities. Number two is even if there's some people who used to come home very early, so you are saying that they come very early. They used to come home late, midnight. Now they are forced to be home by 7. Those are almost 6 additional hours in the home. You cannot just sleep. So avoid sleeping too much during the day, then at night you are so awake, the other one is asleep. Try to synchronize your schedules. Museme, tufanyeni, let's work during the day, let's sleep during the night. You agree.
Now on to news making headlines in the sports world. English Premier League champions Manchester City are set to know their fate this coming week with their appeal against the 2-year ban from European competitions starting at the Court of Arbitration for Sport on Monday. A failure to convince 3 judges in the 3-day video conference hearing that they have not broken UEFA's financial fair play FFP rules will see the citizens miss out on the prestige of playing in the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. A decision is expected before this season's Champions League, which is due to restart in August. The competition was suspended in March with City well placed to reach the quarterfinals after winning 2-1 against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu in a last 16 first leg tie. Well, now, always remember that you can reach us or you can find more news and updates on our website. That is at www.kbc.co.ke. And also, if you miss out on some of the stories, remember to check out our YouTube channel. That is at KBC Channel 1. On Twitter, give us your feedback, and on Facebook at KBC Channel 1. Now, much appreciation for those who made this bulletin possible, including the producers and our sign language interpreter, Byron Abuli. Well, now, don't go, of course, don't, change the channel, as more news will be coming your way in our subsequent bulletins. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.